Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. And today I am doing a special episode because every so often, every few months, there's always seems to be a way of making money. So someone's doing, first it was stocks and shares. Everyone was talking about that. And I was like, you know what? I need to get onto stocks and shares. So I did a bit of stocks and shares. Then everyone's talking about Forex. I'm seeing pictures of people with like Ferraris and stuff like that. Everyone's on Forex, and I'm like, do I need to be doing Forex? Am I missing out? And now, everywhere you look, and everywhere you online, etc., you people talking about crypto. So I'm thinking, right, do I need to get on this? I don't have any information. I don't really know what I'm doing. But today, I'm joined with someone who knows, who can answer all my questions, and that's Abdul from Thatcryptothing. Thanks for joining us. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
This is an important topic because everyone wants to know. Obviously, everyone would like to have another little bit of income coming in or a saving that kind of builds up. And obviously, we'll get into it in more detail, but crypto seems to be that way of doing it. Obviously, we'll get into more detail, but it seems to be an easier way. You don't have to monitor it as much, maybe, as stocks and shares. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I said, that's why you're here to guide me through this. So, in the most basic of basic terms, to someone who doesn't know anything about crypto, what is it? Like, what is it?
Okay. So what it is it's a digital virtual currency that's secured through cryptography. So it's making it nearly impossible to counterfeit or people to double spend if they have it. So many cryptos are decentralized, so it's not owned by a centralized organization. So it's like it has many networks based on the blockchain technology. So the blockchain technology, what it is it's a distributed ledger enforced by many different network of computers.
Okay, so some of those terms I didn't understand, I'll be honest with you. So let's break it down. You said the word decentralized now, and it's not owned by anyone. So how does that work then? Obviously, yeah, we put our money into the bank's owned by a company, etc. How is that an advantage? How is it a disadvantage? What we talking here when you talk decentralized?
Okay, so with let's keep it simple. So, for
Yeah.
example, a centralized example would be the government. So they
Okay.
would control like how the public is managed, and they have different sectors and making sure everything's in place. And so people can't go off and do their own thing. There's certain bylaws that you have to follow and abide by. So when it comes to decentralization, it's where no one has that control, where it has to be approved by many people. So you can go off and set up your own organization, which can be based in many different locations, but you don't solely have that control. So in crypto terms, it's like, for example, you don't have to use a bank to control your money. You can become your own bank. You
Okay.
can control your finances, whereas not the bank. You don't have to wait for the bank to transfer the money that you owed. You
Yeah.
can just do that quickly.
So, like for
You can do it
example,
through
if
peer
you've
to
got
peer.
like a check, like back in the day when people used to use checks and used to cash it, and used to take like 3 days for it to go through whatever, obviously because it has to go into the bank has to do what it does, then it gets transferred to you. So obviously, yeah, there's a delay. So this is sort of like it's fast, basically. It happens
That's right.
quickly. There's no middleman. It's just person to person.
It is, yeah. So it's just peer
Okay.
to peer. All you needed is a smartphone, and then you can just send it off through using a contract address that you want to send over your Bitcoin, or it could be Ethereum, what type of currency that you like
Okay,
to use.
we'll get into those famous names that you've mentioned already. But okay, so crypto, you see like people see two different things. So sometimes I'll hear the term like cryptocurrency, and then I'll hear the term token. So cryptocurrency, I understand, like you've said, it's like money. So it's a version of money, I'm assuming. But a token, what's a token?
Okay, let me explain it in three different examples from what you've just mentioned. So, a coin is in crypto terms, a coin is any cryptocurrency that is a standalone independent blockchain. So the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. So these cryptocurrencies, they have their own blockchain to use and work into the system. Now, with altcoins, which is the second point I want to explain, altcoins are considered a coin. However, it's not Bitcoin. That's why it's called as alternative coin.
Alternative
That's
to
how it's
Bitcoin.
derived.
So Bitcoin's like
Yeah,
the standard, and everything else is an alternative to, or an
that,
alternative basically. Yeah, it's just an alternative to. Okay, so
that's it. Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
as so it's pretty simple really if you know the meaning of the terminology. So altcoin is just
that's right.
something. It is a money. It is like a version of money, but just not Bitcoin. Okay,
That's right.
that makes
So
that makes
token.
sense.
So with regards to the token, it's a cryptocurrency that does not have their own blockchain, but lives on another blockchain. So a
Okay.
prime example of that would be Ethereum, where it has many smart contracts which actually uses its blockchain to become a token and has its utility for it within the ecosystem.
Okay, so when I look into, like, I've dabbled in it a little bit. So I've started, I've got an app. I looked into cryptocurrency. Obviously, I know the big names that I mentioned. I've done a little bit of research. Not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, I see what's in the news. Certain things get mentioned, but when it comes to certain things, for example, obviously Bitcoin, like I said, in my mind, the basic knowledge, that's like money. So that's like, you got your pound, you got your dollar, you got Bitcoin. They're all currencies that you can buy stuff in. But then you've got other stuff which people talk about, oh, it has a use case or it's doing something. Yeah. So I don't know what's a good example. I'm sure you can give me an example of something which has a good use case. So I'm thinking, okay, if it's not a coin and it's got a use case, what am I buying into? Like, is it like, am I buying a share of this company, or what's actually happening when I buy that particular thing?
Okay, so it's not so cryptocurrency and stocks are very different. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people say it's quite similar in how the market is with them. They have their own markets. So with cryptocurrency, the creators, their aim of the game is to get that currency to be accepted to as cash or credit
Okay.
at the end. So
Every
many
single one.
associate
Every single one, is that the end game for them to for it to become a unit of, like, value.
most of them, yes. A
Okay.
lot of them, that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them out there. Thousands of
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies out there which you can easily get lost in. So they are actually very different compared to stocks. Now, these differences are, for example, when you buy crypto, you own a certain amount of that digital currency. But someday it may be possible to use crypto in transactions that as early as other currencies. Today, it's primarily used as a store of value, just like
Yeah.
Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is seen as a digital gold. That's what a lot
Yeah.
of
It's
people
just
see
like,
it
yeah,
as.
it's just
So
gold. Yeah. You can't really do anything with it, but it has a value, sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
because there's only a certain amount of supply and demand and
Yeah.
supply. There can only be 21 million Bitcoin that can ever be mined,
Oh, okay.
which is programmed, which is hence why there's more demand of it every time when it goes through the halving. So yeah, so that's one example. Another thing is yes, cryptocurrencies and stocks, they go up and down, and cryptocurrency is famous knownly for its volatility. Where it can go up and down very quickly and at a high percentage. And a lot of people see it as, well, do you own that, like a share of the company which created that currency? No, you're just owning the
Okay.
currency itself. Whereas in stocks, you're actually owning part of the company. You're
Okay.
owning a share of that within that company. And with stocks, the company has to disclose what they're actually doing, what's
Okay.
going on and it needs to be known so investors are aware what's going on.
Yeah.
Now, it's the other thing is I wanted to mention was with regards to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, they work 24/7, 365 days a year. So every day you can trade. It never sleeps. Whereas when it comes to stocks and buying shares, Monday to Friday, working day,
Yeah.
and you have time off during evening times, weekends, and holidays. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So we've got a little bit of introduction. Obviously, if there's any questions that people don't understand or we've rushed through, obviously your details are going to be there. in the description that people can talk to you further, for more details. So I'm trying to keep it very basic, like as much as I know basically, which is not a lot. So as long as I can understand the answer, I'm assuming most people can. But the most important thing that everyone probably wants to know is the money bit. How they can use it to make money, get rich, whatever. We hear all these stories. You should have bought Bitcoin 12 years ago. You should have bought Bitcoin 5 years ago. You should have bought Bitcoin last year, or any other
Yeah.
stock, all these other coins. We'll break it down. Okay, so with the Bitcoin thing, I'll ask you, you know, like you said, 10 years ago, someone had said, oh, it was less than $1. 5 years ago, it was less than 1,000. And now, obviously, we're talking like tens of thousands. For people like me who are just getting into crypto now, is it gonna go any more? Is it worth me even going now? Like, if it went from less than $1 and now it's like $40,000, that's a massive growth. Yeah. But is that it? Has it reached where it needs to go? Is it even worth me getting in now? Like all these people say, yeah, I bought $100 worth and now it's worth 1 million or whatever. Is there anything in it for those people like me who want to get into this now?
So I went into the crypto space 4 or 5 years ago, and I learned a lot. It was very overwhelming. So especially for people who are new into this. Now we're still on the early adoption. So if you think
Still.
there's a curve,
Okay,
we're
so
still in the early
even though
adoption
we've
phase.
seen like it go from like $1 to like 40,000, it's still early on.
Yeah, we're still
Wow.
early on because
Okay.
just think about there's billions of people in this world, and many people are unbanked, and it's like a lot of people still learning about the technology. They're still trying to develop it. The blockchain technology itself is huge. It's like it's going to be a massive use case, not only in just banking, but for in like the businesses, the farming, everything, anything that you can think of. It's going to be used, and it has an amazing use case for it. Now, why I'm saying we're in the early adoption phase because institutional investors have only just started to get into this now. Now,
Okay.
there's still many people that are still not into the cryptocurrency, are not aware of it. They don't understand it. I would say probably, I'd say about 85%, 90% still
Yeah.
not sure what it is. So I think we're still very early in this space. And I reckon, especially during this pandemic, digital platforms have started to explode now, and now you're starting to see cash starting to phase away. People
Yeah.
more going towards into crypto, digital currencies, and even governments are thinking about getting their own centralized currency. They're
Yeah,
already
I can
starting to
I can
work on this.
imagine that because literally now, all right, everyone, you get paid, it goes straight into your bank. It's just a number on a screen now, isn't it? And then when you go to pay for something, you scan your watch or you scan your phone, that's transferred over. We're sort of already used to it. Not physically having to see money. Like obviously, maybe like the older generation, they still like to carry cash. Me, I never have cash on me anyway, regardless. Like if I'm going to supermarket, petrol station, whatever, even if it's like less than £1, I'm like, no, it's going card, tap it on my phone, whatever. So I think in that sense, people can probably comprehend a digital currency because literally the currency we have now is almost digital. So I can see that bit. But my question to you is that, yeah, there was a few years ago, everything was leaning towards stocks and shares. It got talked about a lot, which is what encouraged me to sort of look into it. Then I'd probably say 2, 3 years ago, it was Forex. Everyone was talking about Forex. It was like, yeah, this is it. And then that kind of like, I don't know whether it's died down or whether I'm just not into it no more. So some people are skeptical. Like, is this just another current hype? That people are talking about. Like, I know stocks and shares is something which carries on all the time, but it seems to be only a certain percentage of people which kind of stuck to it. And again, with Forex, it was like, oh, it's a bit complicated, but the people that understood it made some money, and everyone else is still scratching their head trying to. Is it a phase, or is this actually legitimately the future?
I strongly believe it is the future. Reason being is what a lot of people see in this space is about money. Okay, think of it as a bigger picture where it's the technology that's what's going to be changing lives, and that's something that's going to be adopted everywhere in the world. It's the blockchain itself. Forget about the cryptocurrencies for now. Blockchain, that's how it runs the cryptocurrency, how it works behind the scenes, and
Okay.
that's only one part of it. Is creating the cryptocurrencies, but blockchain itself, the ledger, the system, how it all works, can be used in many systematic ways. For example, you can do it, like, for example, in farming, you can actually, I'll give you one prime example. There's
Okay.
one type of uh, company where they're using blockchain technology to basically making sure farmers in India are getting paid and at the correct rate, and it skips the middleman out. So from where they source their crop, so what they produce in the farms, get find someone to get it shipped into supermarkets, and then get the supermarkets to distribute it to the customers or get it transported all over the world. All this is recorded down on the ledger, on the
Okay.
blockchain technology. So say, for example, me and you, we go to Tesco's, and there are many other supermarkets out there, of course,
Yeah. Available. Yeah.
and you want to, say, for example, purchase like tomatoes, and
Yeah.
then you scan a QR code, and that QR code will tell you all the information where that tomato was sourced from
Okay.
and what type of chemicals we use to grow that crop and everything. You've got all that information on your phone, and that's through the blockchain technology. That's how
Okay.
amazing that technology is.
So blockchain, is it like, I'm trying to put it in easy terms, is it like the new version of the internet? Is it,
You
or is it
could
something
say,
different? Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. Like, so the blockchain, it records down every single information that's on, the internet, and
Yeah.
you can track back onto it. It can never be
Okay.
removed.
Oh, okay.
So it's
So that's
also
the
like,
that's the key. So it's basically
yeah,
it's a secure, it's secure in the sense that no one can kind of tamper with, um
that's it.
and everything's out in the open. So everything everyone's doing, obviously maybe under some sort of code name or whatever, but you can kind of like, okay, this person sent me this much, and that person can't all of a sudden turn around and say, no, you didn't. I didn't receive
Exactly.
it.
It's recorded on there. You
Yeah.
can always go back to that.
Okay.
So, like, for example, in the sense of Bitcoin, the first ever Bitcoin transaction, the block, the first
Yeah.
ever block, you can trace that all the way back from where it
All the
was,
way back. Okay.
and it can never be erased. So that's
So,
why,
okay, that's
yeah,
interesting. Like now I'm getting my head around it. I didn't really, I mean, I kept seeing the term blockchain being used, but I didn't really understand it. But now I've got a bit. So basically, say if there was only one Bitcoin, let's just for clarity now, I don't want to dwell on the point. I sold it to you, you sold it to someone else, that person sold it to whoever. It's been transferred 600 times. On the blockchain, we would be able to trace every single transaction.
that's correct. Yeah,
Okay, makes sense. That okay. I understand that bit now. That's fine. Getting back to the money thing. There's
yeah.
Bitcoin,
So,
there's Ethereum, there's all sorts. Sorry, were you gonna say something?
yeah, sorry. I know. I'll let you finish anyway because I was going to move on to that point because I know
Yeah,
we,
to the money bit. So
yeah.
now everyone wants to know, like, for those of you not really into it, there was a bit of a nasty crash recently. There was a bit of an upsetting time for people like me who had just got into Bitcoin thinking, oh, this is all right, making a bit of profit. Then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. Okay. Like you said, very volatile. Goes up and down like stocks. Nothing to worry about. But as a, would you, I'm trying to get the thing now, would you suggest it to people who are looking to make money on a short term basis, or is this something for people who would make money on a long term basis? For example, people who would normally buy stocks and shares, or is it both?
It's all about people's mindset, what they want to aim for. My advice to many people is basically see it as a long term. Don't see it as where, get rich quick. A lot of people have lost a lot of money from it because they
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing. And that's the important thing. We need people to be educated into this space to realize, only afford what you can afford to lose. That's the main thing, is what you want to put in. And that's what we always make sure whenever people do that. Now, crypto, there should be a long-term plan, and you should have goals of what you need to do. People get too greedy and then realize, I should have taken some money out, and that's what they should have done. So I don't know if you heard of the word hodl. I'm a bit of
Yeah.
a hodler. So when it
Okay.
comes to crypto, I invest,
So
I do a bit
hodler
of
is like
hodling.
where you buy some. Just to explain to people, hodler is you're basically holding, yeah, and you're buying something and with the intention of not selling it until you know many a year down the line, 2 years down the line, whatever time frame you've sort of got in your mind. So you're someone who's keeping that, as opposed to someone who's like, oh, let me just buy it. Hopefully by the end of the day, it's gone up a few percent, and I'll sell it and make a profit, sort of thing.
That's right. Yeah. So
Okay.
you got to see it as this. So if somebody went into the space and say, okay, I want to get started, where do I start with crypto? So you got to understand the crypto market, especially with Bitcoin. It goes through cycles. Now it goes through a cycle of 4 years, just like the financial markets. Crypto markets the same. They go through 4 years where Bitcoin goes through a halving process. Now this halving process reduces the half an amount of Bitcoins being mined, so it becomes a
Okay.
difficult. Hence, more power needs to be used in mining it. I don't know if you heard a lot of information regarding about it's not what you call it. It's not very. It uses a lot of power, energy,
Yeah.
which is not good for the environment. So that's
Okay.
something that Elon Musk mentioned. So
Yeah.
anyway, we won't go delve into that too much, but the whole process is it happens in 4 years, and then the halving process happens. When this halving process happens, that's when the bull market cycle starts
Okay.
for a year and a
Bull
half, and that's
market
where
meaning upward trend.
uptrend. That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah. So
that's
the
fine.
prices will increase substantially,
Okay. Yeah.
supply and demand, and other altcoins will follow. So the bull market is a year and a half. We're well into the bull market now, and the end of it is normally towards the end of the year. That's how we see it. Now with altcoins, so say people, okay, I've invested into Bitcoin. What about other altcoins? Where do I go from there? You got to understand the market psychology, where whenever Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go up. Whenever
Okay.
Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down as well. Now, whenever Bitcoin goes sideways, this is the time where people sell the Bitcoin and start putting it into altcoins, and they call it
Okay.
altcoin season. And that's how it goes parabolic, and the prices go up substantially from there. So, if somebody wanted to get started, you've got to understand your risks. There's
Yeah.
small risks. You've got the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you get good profits, however, not substantial from what you've seen. A lot of people
Yeah.
do see it that way, but the risk is a lot less compared to other altcoins. And then you've got medium risk, where you've got medium rewards or even like high rewards. So you're looking to invest into smart contracts, coins, or centralized exchange coins that are out there, such as Binance Coin. That's one
Yeah.
example. And then you've got the very, very high risk ones. And high risk comes with high rewards,
Yeah.
where these are like gems that, you've got to be very wary of them. However, you can make substantial gains from them.
Yeah.
So
Like
you've got to be
100
wary,
times
like
your
if you lose
money,
your money, that's it.
500
Yeah,
times your money. Yeah. Okay.
exactly.
So
And yeah. So it's like Bitcoin, how it was many, many years ago, where it was very high risk, high reward. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So obviously there's a lot of terms there that you've covered. Obviously I do have a little bit of understanding because, like I said, I've done a bit of research. Some people out there may be thinking, "Oh, what is he just said?" So you obviously help people. This is what you do. Part of your site, and you've got like your own pages, etc. Is you're helping people learn about crypto. So you want to tell us a little bit about what you do in terms of that thing? I'll be like I said, for me, I understood exactly what you're saying, but there's some people out there who literally haven't touched crypto at all, but maybe need guiding through it, maybe in a little bit more detail or taking a little bit more time than me and you have done today. Obviously, like I said, that's something that you do. So tell us a little bit what you do and how people can get hold of you to get more
Sure.
information.
So I'm part of the BTA protocol, which is known as Blockchain Trading Academy. So it's known as BTAP, and Blockchain Training Academy looks to educate people within the space who want to understand about crypto and want to be able to afford and get started. The whole point of BTAP is to make it accessible. People who don't have the financial means to be able to, where they offer a free course, an introductory course where people can get started, understand some of the terminology, and understand like how to be able to set up your own wallet, which is like a bank account, where you can store your Bitcoin, your other crypto assets, to buying NFTs. So it can be as simple or as complex as that, depending on how much you want to do. So from that, you'd be able to also, if you wanted to, go quite delve into it and start coding the Bitcoin blockchain. By all means, you can. There's also a part of the course which does that. Okay. So there's an academy within that, and into the BTAP community. Now, a lot of these videos and educational content was created by the founder, known as the Cryptovator out there. Okay. So he's done some wonderful things. Name, yeah? It is, yeah. So I'm part of the Block One community. We're all doxed, so people are aware who we are, and a lot of us are knowledgeable. We've been into the crypto space for a while, and we provide value to be able to help people to be educated into the space in a safe way. So, because obviously you hear a lot of people losing a lot of money, but just don't understand where to go and all this. So, and that's where BTAP comes, and they have their own token. So they use the Ethereum network. Okay. They have their own token, so you can buy BTAP, and that has utility. And you'll be able to stake the BTAP. So staking is like basically locking up those tokens, and after a certain amount of time, you get rewarded with more BTAP, and also rewarded with an NFT, non-fungible token. Yeah. So this non-fungible token, depending on the rarity of it, that will have a use case, as in it's not only just fine art, it's also this digital art you can be used to get yourself into one-to-one consultation by some of the experts within the field. You'll be able to get invited into some events, which are really hard to get by on. So yeah, there's many things. So there's a lot of information we can provide at the end of this anyway.
Yeah. I mean, for most people, obviously, that are probably watching this video now, like I said, you probably hear something on, like, Twitter, whatever, Instagram, that, oh, yeah, I made 100 times, 300 times, whatever, on this coin, and then you may be tempted, oh, you know what, let me just quickly make an account on this thing, and let me put 200, 300, 400 pound in there, and then they find out it's gone. So, especially, I wanted to stress on the fact that, obviously, you said there's a free introductory course, which obviously gets everyone used to the basics, and then obviously once they've gone through that, they can obviously learn more if they need to. So I think that's important for a lot of the people that are probably watching this video. So we'll provide the links to obviously the academy, where people can get onto this free course, where they can speak to you and find out more information about this. So I think one thing I should have probably asked earlier, which I didn't, is that if you wanted to get into crypto, if I wanted to start from scratch, is it one of those things that I would need to have a large sum of money? Like, is it accessible to a lot of people? Like, or do I need to have like hundreds and thousands? Am I talking like big numbers for it to be worthwhile? Or can I do it slowly? Can I just put in like £20 a week or whatever? Is it still feasible to do? What's the starting point? What's the entry point for crypto?
Not at all. So anybody can, depending on your means, how much you can afford to invest in. You can start as little as £20 a month or £100,000. It really depends on where you are in your life. So we educate people within within BTAP is we have a coaching group where we basically educate people to dollar cost average. So especially with like, well, where do I start? Well, we're quite into the bull market. Is it the right time to invest in? So what we say is to dollar cost average. So basically putting £100 a month into Ethereum or Bitcoin as your starter, because they're low risk, low rewards, and build it up from there, make some profits from that, and then you can diversify your portfolio, which we can advise on. So but this is obviously not financial advice, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying, but it's what we advise. You know, this is how
It's
we've done
basically
it,
a
and this is what we've
proven
done.
strategy, which has obviously
Yeah,
worked for all of your, the members of your group. So, yeah, I mean, I can understand that. I know that everyone has to say not financial advice, etc. But it's always good to know that if, like yourself, people like yourself who've been doing it for multiple years, like you've probably made mistakes, you've probably, you probably made a loss on something, you probably made a profit on something. It's only when you've done that you think, you know what, when you've made a loss, you think, right, I'm not going to do that again. And it's good for you to pass on that knowledge so other people probably don't make those rookie, because everyone's going to make those rookie mistakes. Like, for example, I'll see something, everyone's like, this is the next big thing, get it now. And I've bought some of these coins, not a lot. Like, I've bought a couple of these coins thinking, oh, I better get in there early. And then I've put a little bit of money, and then all of a sudden the coin is worth nothing. And I've lost the money. But whereas, had
exactly.
I known the information, because literally I went into it blind, just like hype. I just got into the hype, I'll be honest. But had I had that course from you where it was like, right, stick to the basics or stick to the big coins, stick to the Bitcoin, stick to the Ethereums, then slowly, look into these other coins. You probably give me like, sensible advices and like, yeah, I know this random coin sounds like a good idea, but if you want to risk it, yes, go for it. But if your strategy is more safe, then probably not. So are these the kind of things that you're telling people?
These are things that we mentioned in the academy. Yes,
Yeah.
these are what's mentioned in the course. There's also a side of things where people say, "Look, I'm here to make money. This is what I want to do. Can you tell me where I can go with this?" You've got the Cryptovator app, which is part of the BTAP ecosystem, where the Cryptovator app is an app where you have 500 members in there who are crypto enthusiasts, and extensive research is done on new tokens, coins that are being launched onto exchanges such as Uniswap, which is a
Yeah.
decentralized exchange, or you've got the likes of Binance. So it's like an exchange where you can exchange different currencies
Yeah, yeah.
and liquidate it
It's like a shop
into
for
money.
crypto. It's a shop
That's
for
it.
crypto. Yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
shop. Yeah.
yeah. So this app is made affordable to people to pay on a monthly basis. There's a subscription, or you can pay an annual fee. You can pay it into either crypto or fiat currency,
Yeah.
and you'll get notifications in the app to tell you about a project that's about to be launched. Here's the information. It'll mention if it's high risk or a long-term hold. Long-term hold shows it's a very good project.
Yeah.
It has good means, and it gives you that information, and then it's up to you if you want to delve into it and put some money into it to support the project.
Yeah, no, that sounds good because everyone, like I said, if it's like you said, it's like the new internet, like you said, like, well, in very simple terms. So it seems like it's something that everyone, whether you buy into it directly or indirectly, just like you have your cards in on your phone or your watch or whatever, instead of paying in pounds, sooner or later you'll be paying in some sort of digital currency. Like I said, for me, currency is pretty much digital already because I don't carry cash. So it it seems like the logical step to assume that these digital currencies are the way forward. So yeah, that was interesting. Like I said, I wanted to keep it basic because I didn't want to overload people with a lot of information because just enough to get started, like me. So for those people who are out there, obviously, who are interested in getting onto the course, who are interested in maybe contacting you directly and getting more information, where can they get hold of you?
Okay, so I'm on mainly a lot of the social media platforms, and also they can check out the BTA Protocol website. So I'm on Instagram, so I create content on what's happening in the crypto space. I try and keep it simple so people
Yeah.
can understand what's going on in the
Yeah, no,
market.
I
So
follow,
you
and
can,
it is really, it's very easy to follow. So like someone who's a newbie like me, I understand the graphics, I understand what's going on. So yeah, great info. Yeah.
uh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. So you can check me out on at thatcrypto.thing,
Yeah.
which I create content on a regular basis there. You can also follow me on Twitter. So again, at that crypto thing on there. I've
Yeah.
got a number 9 on that at the end, but I can
Yeah,
provide that
all
at
the
the end.
links will be in the description anyway. I'll put all the links. I'll put all the necessary links in the description. So, you said you got a channel as well.
I do, yeah. I've just
Yeah,
started out a YouTube channel at the moment, just to deliver some new content out there. So it's going to be a bit more active soon. So again, that you can find me
yeah,
on that crypto thing on there. And then you also got the BTA Protocol website. Check the website out. They've also got their own Twitter page, Telegram as well, with a lot of information that's happening. Keeps the whole community is well updated on what's going on. There's a lot of things are happening. So the market moves very quickly. So people who are quite new into it, we've got a lot of people there to support you, to make sure that you're understanding what you're doing, and you can get that support and coaching sessions as well when you need it.
perfect. Thank you very much. Like I said, nice little introduction. I know that you have tons of knowledge on this topic. That's why I'm probably trying to send people to your socials to try and get a little bit more deeper into it. Just keep it light for those people who don't want to overwhelm everyone. So yeah, yeah, just all the links are in the description. Crypto is seems like it's here to stay. It seems to be the future. I not reluctantly, I just kind of like, with the fear of missing out, the FOMO, I thought, you know what, it's time for me to get on board as well. So I've dived into it. Um, Hopefully, I've got a bit of, I've got a friend now who knows a little bit about it, so might guide me in the right direction. So I'm thankful that you're here to guide me as well as everyone else. So yeah, that crypto thing,
Pleasure.
and BTAP is there for you. So if you want to get a hold of them, like I said, a free course to find out about crypto, you've got nothing to lose. It would be great. I mean, avoid those mistakes that I have made. We'll probably, in the next episode, we'll get into these mistakes. I'm sure you probably got a few that you can talk about as well, where you've learned your lesson. Like I said, I've learned it at a very small scale, thankfully, not in a big way. But yeah, like I said, for me, it seemed as though it was when I got into it, it was all hunky dory. Everything I was buying was going up, but now it seems to be a little bit more volatile, and maybe I need that little guidance. So yeah, I advise that as well. Not financial advice, but one thing I do advise is to at least get your basics, learn the basics, which you can find, obviously, that crypto thing and BTAP protocol. But thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this, please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe on my channel and obviously Abdul's channel as well. Yeah, that was this episode, and I will be back again with much more topics varying from, like I said, cryptocurrency to medical things to just me having a rant. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.